I have over 1000 days of freeride experience, but now I've started climbing all 4000 meter peaks, and that's completely new to me. This requires a completely new skill set. And if you want to learn about this as well, you're in the right place because we're about to start. So our first great challenge awaits us, today in Salzburgerland, where we climb Alphübel, our highest peak yet. But why? Why climb all these mountains, put in all this time, effort and money just to have my mom worried about me? And this is a discussion I've had countless times over the last years. And in a way I get it. It's weird, right? There is no real reason to do it. It literally makes no sense to the rational mind. One could argue it's kinda stupid, yet I keep feeling this urge to go back out into the mountains and have these adventures. Why is that? I feel like in a way it makes life feel more real. It's hard to take risks in the Netherlands. There's really just no danger to be had. I sometimes jokingly tell my friends it's hard to die in the Netherlands. But of course I don't want to die. It's just that this slight risk makes it feel so real, and the presence of consequence makes it feel like a real game instead of just some hobby. But of course living in safety is a real luxury, and I would never want to live in another country that's not safe at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the safety of the Netherlands. But I feel like in a weird way it makes my mind a bit lazy. My mind sometimes needs this extra stimulation and challenge where it's not just in a relaxed mode all the time. Another big advantage for me is that it makes it a lot easier to bond with new people. I'm the kind of person that takes a lot of time if I meet a new person to get to know them well, get into a rhythm with them. All in all, that just takes a long time to build up a proper relation or friendship. But if you go out on an adventure with somebody like this, you get to know them really well, really fast, and you really have to trust each other. I mean, we're on a rope together, and if one person falls in a crevasse, maybe it's me, maybe it's the other one, we are banking on the other person to get us out of there and back to safety. So sometimes, even after just one day, I've built a lot of trust with somebody, and I trust them with my life sometimes. It's crazy because there's people I know for 5, 6, 7, 8 years that I don't trust as much as some people I've spent 1, 2 or 3 days with in the mountains. And maybe sometimes it is hard to judge a risk if you're really close to the risk itself. I feel like as the person taking the risk, you often underestimate the risk, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. But there's two sides to this story, because if you have less skill and less experience in a certain sport or environment, you might judge the risk to be way higher than it is in reality. And therefore you might get too careful and miss out on seeing a lot of cool spots and places. And I don't think that's just a thing in the mountains. It happens a lot in all everyday life as well. People will often make a lot of choices to just fit in their comfort zone. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. But for me, the exploring is also really nice and a lot of fun. But I know it's not for everybody. A lot of people want to relax. If they have holiday or free time, they want to recover from work instead of pushing themselves even further. I mean, when I get home from a trip like this, I'm often really tired, and I sometimes need 2 or 3 days to recover, sometimes even a week. And physically I might need way longer than that. After the ski season, sometimes it takes me multiple weeks before my legs and especially my knees feel fresh again. So as you could have noticed in the background footage, in between all my rambling, we topped out on the Alphübel. And the partners I'm with here, I also met, well, one of them, the guy on the left, I met today, and the other guy I've ski toured with once before, 3 days before this peak. But as you can see in the video, there's already a lot of camaraderie going on, and I think we made quite a good team despite not really knowing each other. On the ski down, one of our team members had some issues with his gear, but that's where a great team makes the difference. The way down took us quite a bit longer than we expected, but that's fine if you have a skilled group of team members that you trust. If everything goes well, climbing peaks like this isn't super hard. It's just that when shit hits the fan, you need to have a team that can fix these issues. And on this day we had that team. And I was really happy about the whole thing. Even at the end of the day, when we were racing to make it back down to Saas-Fee before the sunset, I felt completely at ease and I trusted my partners.